Many thanks for staying with us on Journalist Hangout, showing right here on your screen on TVC News. And still on the cheering report of the arrest of the dreaded kidnapper in Benue State, talking about a Zone 2. Of course, as BKO and Paul Dada, have established, the army needs to intensify its efforts now in completely eradicating the area now of all these threats. But I must ask, BKO, what had been fueling the activities of these criminals? Like you said at the onset, these crimes had gone unreported for so long. Many of us outsiders would see the threat, the insecurity in Benue State as only the killer herdsmen and all that, perpetrating with the government's efforts in making the state safer. But with these guys, tell us more about what had been fueling their dominance in the area before now.
Yes, they are only concentrated in that zone, the Kasinala zone. And they are basically bandits, kidnap for ransom and all that. That's what they do basically. And then if you are bringing food supplies to the area, they force you to pay. If you are not prepared to pay, they kill you. So they do all of that. The headsman issue is a serious one, but once it is a crime committed outside of that Sankira zone, then it's killer herdsmen that are involved. These ones do not move outside of the Kasinala zone.
So they stay in their domain?
Yes, that's their area of strength. They remain there, cause all the havoc, kill people, especially on market days. Just show up on market day. I remember, I think it was on the 24th of March. Between 4 and 5 p.m. they went to Abaji market, killed 16 persons, So it's the chairman of the local government, they killed his maternal father and moved from there to also kill other people. Went to the house of the local government secretary, burnt it down. Same day they went to the house of the PDP chairman in that locality, killed 3 of his brothers. So that's their own kind of that's their own pastime, simply killing people for fun in that Kasinala area. But killer herdsmen, because Benue is the most fertile state in our country, herdsmen find the Benue Valley really, really useful for pasture, and in terms of his pasture and all that. And they've always had clashes with farmers in that area,
Well, let me compare PKO's notes or analysis with yours, Paul. For you now, when you look at the political climate there, of recent, there was this, talk between Governor Tom and, his rivals, on the other side. But how much of the political climate in Benue, how much of it do you think has impacted on the atrocities of a gang as this?
Actually, bandits like this have no political ideology. They have no business with politicians. Or maybe it's possible that unscrupulous politicians might want to use them, and they use them. But primarily, what they are after is kidnap for ransom. Of course, any politician that wants to engage them will also pay them. It's all about money. You understand? It's all about the money. So the issue.
Go on now.
Okay.
All right. But okay. So while we, check with and expect, calls from our viewers, BKO on the other side in Kaduna State, there is also, the breakthrough that the government is recording. First, it was, more release of the students from Bethel High School, and now we have 3 of the 20-something gang members, also now arrested. What do you make of this? And you were talking about weapons. These people were not just, arrested. They were arrested with, large arms and ammunition in their possession.
Yes, it's a good thing, especially that we are able to make arrests in respect of the better schoolboys, school children kidnapping, because their parents have gone through a lot. They are forced to pay ransom, and they were just releasing people in piecemeal fashion, meaning that it's only parents who had paid ransom who were able to raise the money that they asked for, that they were releasing their wards. At the last count, they still have about 20 or so of those children in their custody. So I think that it's significant that they were able to arrest some of the masterminds. That will lead us to the real sponsors of this kind of violence in our country, because when you look at even one of the gang leaders saying that he got only 100,000 naira. I've said repeatedly that when you see these bandits, you know that they are not the ones who enjoy all the money that they collect as ransom. There are some big people who sit somewhere who take the lion's share of this money that people pay as ransom. These guys are just foot soldiers. They're just foot soldiers. You see them, they look dirty. They don't look like people who have had access to good money. Yet they are the ones who put guns to people's backs and insist that they must pay so amount of money. So to defeat banditry in our country, we must identify the sponsors, and we must not try to cover up these sponsors, except if we don't want banditry to end. Once we fish them out, let the law take its course. That's what the Attorney General should be doing. We've had reports in the past that some Boko Haram financiers were arrested. So why is it taking eternity to put them on trial? When will people learn that when you commit a crime against the state, you are not going to be allowed to escape, when they can't see people being punished for committing those crimes? How many times have we seen a Boko Haram terrorist jailed? But our neighbors, we've seen our neighbors jail them. In fact, Chad sentenced them to death, and the sentencing was carried out. They shot them. They tied them to stakes and they shot them. Boko Haram men do not deserve any fate better than that. They should be tied to the stakes and shot. Some of them are 16-year-old, 15-year-olds. They force those guys to marry them, and we're in the process of rehabilitating such idiots. It makes no sense.
Biko, let me interrupt you once again and bring in Rahim from Songo. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, ma.
Good evening. You're welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mr. Babajide and Mr. Paul.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The issue is that when Evan was arrested about 4 years ago, nothing was done to this man. Up till now, don't even hear about Mr. Evan. So if Evan had been killed that time or sentenced to life in jail, this problem will not escalate like this. Because nothing was done to him, everything has escalated. So if something has done to Mr. Evan that time, I'm sure all these hooligans will not be, things will not be, going wrong like this. So that's my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. He's talking about Evans, but of course the matter is still in court. Of course, it has also suffered while looking at the length of time that has passed, but at least 2 judges are sitting over, cases involving Evans and some members of his gang.
The whimsical nature of our judicial process does not help the cause of justice, does not help us to teach valuable lessons, and in good time. It's good to teach lessons, but when you teach that lesson in good time, when everyone's memory is still fresh, people will learn. Not when the matter is forgotten. You are now coming to judgment. We must do whatever it takes to expedite the wheel of progress, of justice in our country. Yeah. That's the only way we can help ourselves out of this. Because they came out with the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. But in spite of that, cases still drag on till God knows when. These Evans that they are talking about, by now Evans should be rotting in jail. By now, it's about time. It's a long time that this matter happened. And there's no way anyone can tell me that we can't come up with a prima facie case against Evans because one of his victims died. The one who was a transporter. Yes, died in his hands. So what are we waiting for? Or are we simply going to be here when Evans will walk away free? People are already speculating that he may become a free man soon. Or because of the millions that he has taken, because Evans was collecting ransom even in dollars in some cases. Is it because he had access to so much money that his lawyers can contrive that the case drags on until we get lethargic? I mean, look at that Ugandan woman who tortured the little girl in that viral video. Within weeks, she was jailed. You remember that viral video of the little girl? Within weeks, she was jailed. That is the way it should be. In our country, lawyers will be filing frivolous applications, doing everything.
Objections.
Yes, doing everything to slow down the wheel of progress, so that even you, the litigant, at a point you get exhausted, you just say, let's settle out of court.
Indeed, BKO. Well, Paul, what do you make of our system of justice in Nigeria? There's the talk about not just Evans. There are so many, cases like this. The judges would say, would place the blame on the lawyer, especially the defense counsel.
This is one subject that has been of very sore concern to me. Lawyers always have a way of frustrating the system, frustrating the will of justice. They come in with, first of all, a lawyer can even say, look, my lord, your disposition shows that we can't get justice in this case. Please recuse yourself. Yes. And then they have to argue over that. Before they even go to the substance of the case, there have been so many preliminary objections. They have to argue. This one bring counter argument. And sometimes also, you know what happens? Because the court, the docket of the court is filled, and maybe, for example, you have a case today, and then because the lawyers are frustrating the speedy movement of the case, the lawyer can just say, okay, maybe the judge will say, okay, can I give you, this is September, right? Can I give you October? I say, no, I have a case in Abuja. And I say, can you give me November? The judge will say, oh, no, look at my calendar. The calendar is filled. The earliest I can give is December. And then it goes on and on. Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice must not only be done, it must be seen to have been done by the people. So criminal cases like this, especially just the blood of people that the likes of Evans have killed, the likes of this man, Azonto have killed, is crying for justice. It's crying for justice. You can't just keep playing around with cases. So there has to be a way of expediting. Maybe we have to have special courts to deal with certain criminal cases.
And
even my mind goes to, because I'm sure you've covered some of those cases. Fayose versus the state is Fayose. Is case with the EFCC. About 12 witnesses had already been brought to court. Now we had to go back.
The judge?
We had to go back to square one. Because the EFCC lawyer said he was not sure that they would get justice from that judge. They were abusing one another. The judge and the lawyer, they were abusing one another. Ultimately, the lawyer...
Once again, I come to interrupt. We have Sam from Benue. Sam, how much of a closure is this for you, looking at the arrest of Azonto? You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. Good evening, Babajide.
Good evening.
And good evening, our I'm Commander.
Good evening.
I'm so happy to be tuned to Journalist Hangout today and then to hear Babajide live and direct. I really wanted to get Babajide's number all this while, but I can't get it. I just want to make a contribution in respect to this issue of Zone 2 is actually going on now. I really appreciate God for giving Governor the privilege and then the Army the opportunity to arrest this man. Benue State has been a bloodbath state because of the likes of Ghana and Azonto and other men of his own gang. This issue of cultism, aside the issue of banditry and the issue of Boko Haram.
All right.
The issue of cultism has become a major issue in Benue State. And we pray that God will help us, that we will bring this in to a standstill in our country, and especially in Benue State. Just like Babajide said, that Benue State is one of the major parts of what they call it, agricultural in Nigeria. So we are praying that God will help us, that we are going to nab everyone that is connected to this issue of cultism, not only in Makurdi, but also in places like Boko, in Otupo, in Atoka, and other areas. They have taken over the whole street. That sometimes they can't even sleep because of cult guys. Everywhere. The ones we are hearing on air, the likes of Azonto, they are just the ones that are popular. There are other small ones in other areas that are doing terrible issues to people everywhere. Kidnapping and stealing.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. But we must rest our conversation now on the security situation in Benue, Kaduna, and turn our spotlight to the behavior of some of our security agents, as have been noticed of recent. Well, it's barely 24 hours now since circulation of a viral video where a female soldier was seen pouring dirty water on a corps member who was fully kitted. Now, Agba Jalingo, a citizen journalist, had shared the video asking social media users to reshare until it gets the attention of the army authorities. And the Nigerian army has now vowed to sanction the female officer who assaulted the corps member publicly in Calabar Cross River State's capital. Let's share that video with you. Well, there you have it. That's the video for those who haven't, seen it before. But Paul, you can understand the outrage that many Nigerians associated with that video. What do you make of it? I'm even looking at it from the part of the corps member in question. What's running through your mind, and how appropriate do you think the reaction of the Nigerian army has been in this regard?
I was particularly upset when I saw that video. Naturally, this kind of thing upsets me a great deal. It shows to me that there are many psychopaths in uniform. I think a lot of people who have mental illnesses find their way into the security agencies. And then, they already have a problem. They already, when a psychopath, someone was already a psychopath, and then you get him into the army or into the police. The person now has a leeway, to perpetrate his wickedness. So what I see here is someone who is misusing, misused our authority. If you look at this picture, even this lady could probably beat up this person if she's plumber. And she looks stronger, but she respected the uniform. Now, kudos to Agba Jalingo. But the thing is, now the military authority, the army has said it will deal with that soldier. But the thing is, if the video hadn't gone viral, will the army have come up to say what it said now? This thing happened, people knew, soldiers knew about it. It was not done in isolation. Now, nobody reported it until the video began to go viral. So, I think, well, fine, it's good that the army says, okay, we will deal with this particular person. But I also think that the army, not only the army, the police, all the security agencies must be doing periodical mental checks, mental health checks for the. No, it may look funny, but it's true. I remember there was once a report many years ago about there was a report that a number of commercial bus drivers in Lagos had mental problems. You understand? And you'll be surprised to find out that there are so many people in uniform that have mental problems. Some of them can't even, they can't even relate like normal human beings because they are not that they are in uniform. Okay, so they now have the chance to let out the evil that is in them.
With the power in their hands.
Exactly.
All right. Well, BKO. Well, like I said, for me, I'm looking at. Because it seems the core member, Cordelia, I believe, had even, succumbed, for her to even kneel down and, tolerate that much abuse on her person. I don't know how it looks to you, either on the part of the officer in question, Anele, or, the core member.
Well, because she's a soldier, and she just felt that if she obeyed her, then her moments of misery will not be extended. It's like going before a court and you don't waste the time of the court, you plead guilty. The court will be more lenient. She just submitted totally in the hope that this irresponsible army officer will let her go without prolonging her punishment. I guess that's what happened. It's unfortunate, even the way people get recruited into the army and the police, we've got to do something about it. Some people have no business wearing army uniform. They're all over the place wearing army uniform. Downright idiots who have no business wearing army uniform. You see them wearing army uniform. I see some videos and I tell myself that, look, if Amnesty International and other similar NGOs get hold of those videos, it will be bad for Nigeria. You can imagine soldiers misbehaving in the war front and recording themselves. They've not even got the brains to realize that, look, I can't afford to record myself in this form. And they are recording themselves. It goes viral. I've had cases when I called generals and I said, see, look at what I saw. One of the generals that I called some time ago is now a service chief. I said, look, I see all these things. When are you people going to put an end to this nonsense? And he said, it's embarrassing, but we'll try to identify the people. Even as the war is going on in Zamfara, there are videos of abuse. Why can't, I don't know how, is it that they don't talk to these people? Look at army privates, men and women, just coming out of a depot in Zaria, already boasting that if we get hold of those bloody civilians, we are going to deal with them, we are going to do this. A Nigerian American who is a U.S. Marine shot a video and told them that, look, you are untrained people.
Despite
you will not hear an American rant like this. Come out of the army, determined that now that I have this uniform, these bloody civilians, I'm going to deal with them. It is this sort of thing that led to NSAS. Remember, before NSAS, some policemen in Lagos had been misbehaving routinely, to the point that the then IG came to Lagos and promised that, look, they are going to do something that they will not give live ammunition to police anymore. Because they were just killing people. A policeman goes to a viewing center, gets drunk, he lacks the discipline to drink wisely, he gets drunk, and the next thing he opens fire on people. Even as we speak, it's still happening. We just can't. I don't know what we can do to stop our security people from shaming the uniform that they are wearing, because you disgrace the essence of that uniform. I have seen the PA, the military assistant to the NYC DG, disarm a crowd that came to set ablaze NYC headquarters and loot mattresses. He disarmed them without firing a shot. He just spoke to them. Did you see that video? One major military assistant to the DG of NYC. He spoke to them.
That was a gentleman.
Yeah, he said, see, he said this, if you steal these mattresses, what will your brothers who are coming to serve their country, what will they sleep on?
Because we've run out of time, but of course, you know, the despicable behavior, just when you think you've had it all, you're talking about, you know, disarming officers who even carry life. What about the case in Abia State now? We've seen the intervention of the governor Ikpeazu and his wife on a female undergraduate allegedly raped by policemen off campus.
We need to really know the people that we are actually enlisting into these forces. See, they are just wicked people. Even when you go, look, even when you go to a police station to lodge complaints, they will make you dry. My sister was missing. I went to report at the police station. If you see the money they were asking for, we don't have money to buy fire, we don't have money for signal, we don't have money for this. They have to pay for all of this.
All right.
It's very, very annoying.
Even if they do all that,
and they still not
dehumanize people. They don't kill people, just fire at people. It makes sense. They rape policemen, raping people. Policemen who are supposed to fight crime. Raping school, undergraduates.
Right.
That uniform confers moral authority on them, but they have moral.
He must get to the root of this matter. If Abia has a police commissioner by now, those guys will have been fished out. Let Nigerians see that those guys are a disgrace to the police. Let Nigerians see them for who they are.
Absolutely.
You are raping women. Police. Come on.
All right, gentlemen, we will rest on this note and hope that this indeed serves as a wake-up call to our law enforcement agencies to completely sanitize, the system, for the safety of all, not just civilians, but even themselves, because indeed these things are recycled. But I will rest our case here, and I must thank BKO for your robust contributions on the program. As always, Paul Dada, it's been a delight, sharing this table with you today. I hope to see more of you indeed, and thanks to you all for staying with us, and for those who called, thank you so much. That's our 7 for you on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program that will be online, and on Sunday you can watch Journalist Hangout Sunday Special.